And as you can hear from my accent, I am Italian. I was born in a small village in the south of Italy. Imagine this rural area surrounded by wheat fields, and wheat fields. Basically, nothing to do. Very, very boring. I spent my childhood watching television, Japanese mangas, and I was dreaming about escaping from that place and just living a life full of adventure. I was seeing myself being a duchess during the French Revolution at the court of France, or living on a spaceship. My favorite Japanese manga was called Galaxy Express 1999. At that time, 1999 was future. It was about two passengers going on this train that was traveling through galaxies, and each episode was a new adventure on a different planet. Fantastic. I even tried to escape physically from that place when I was a teenager. I was going on the main road, and I was staying for hours with my thumb up, waiting for a lift to go anywhere. But there were no cars. And I had to go back home at a certain moment. And my mom was saying, "When you will be 18 years old, my child, you can go wherever you want, you can do whatever you want. But not now! A casa! Home! Back home!" And she kept on saying the story of 18 years old. And I start to fantasize about this day, the day of freedom and liberation, the day that a miracle would happen, something special. And I made a final countdown calendar. Minus 6 years, 3 months, 2 days for that day. And I waited patiently. And finally, that day arrived, yes! And nothing happened. I realized that it was up to me. I had the responsibility, I had to take actions. Otherwise, nothing would happen. And I got a genius idea. At that time, there was no internet. Can you imagine a world without internet? No. There was a life before the smartphones. But the teenagers at that time were underdeveloped compared to the teenagers now. And the ones from south of Italy, even more. The best and the most exotic activity I could imagine was to get a job as a waitress. In the north of Italy, yeah, very far, on the beach, tropical, and 5-star hotel, luxury. And I went. Arrived there, and of course, reality was different from imagination. First thing I get is work schedule. 12 hours a day working in the restaurant. The problem started the same evening. Imagine this 5-star restaurant with this amazing buffet. All the food that you can imagine was there. All the most delicious delicacies. My eyes immediately spotted the lobster salads, yes! Shrimps, tuna, salad, salmon. But we, waiters, could not touch any of that. It was really, really hard. The same evening, at the end of the evening, while I was clearing the buffet, I was going with the tray with the leftovers back to the kitchen. And while I was walking, I hear a voice. Eat me. Eat me. The leftover came alive. They were begging me to eat them. And I ate them. By the time I arrived into the kitchen, the tray was empty. And the same happened to the next tray. And the same happened to the next tray. Since that moment, I became an expert in eating leftovers. Everywhere in the restaurant, hidden behind plants, behind curtains. Until one day, I was tasting this fantastic vol au vent with shrimps and champagne sauce. And I hear my name, Daniela. Oh, it was not the vol au vent. It was the chef, oh my God. He got suspicious because all the trays were coming empty into the kitchen, by coincidence, since the day I was hired. And he came to investigate. And I could not hide the truth because all the champagne sauce was all over my chin. Long story short, I was fired on the spot. Yeah. And do you think that after waiting for 6 years, 3 months, and 2 days, I would give up and going back home? No. I had no job, I had no money, I had no place to stay, but I wanted to have my adventure. And I stayed. After 2 days, I found another job. And I started all over again in another hotel. This time, first thing, making best friend with the chef. I could eat all what I wanted. My mom showed up out of the blue with the whole family as a guest in the hotel to check on me. And I ran into the most gorgeous guy who just broke up with his fiancée. And my adventure started. Running down to the kitchen to try the best delicacies from my French chef. Then running up to the 3rd floor where my mom was waiting for me and she was teaching me how to make the perfect bed. And then running down again because the gorgeous guy invited me for the ice cream. Ladies and gentlemen, I ended up quitting the job and going for the most exciting trip I could ever imagine. Since then, I live my life as an adventure every day. Until today, the best adventure ever, being here with you. What happened next is another story. Stay tuned for the next episode.
For Daniela. Living life as an adventure. I'm sure, like every single story, like even if you woke up and you went for cigarettes to the kiosk, whatever, you know, it's still an adventure for you. Like the way you describe it. I'm very curious to hear more stories from you, Daniela. You're gonna come back to the stage and share more stories, right?
Yes.
We want Daniela to come back on the stage and share more stories. Wow, Daniela. Very good. Thank you so much. Just to check, we're going to have 2 sets. So there's going to be approximately 3 stories each set. And